Hi, as promised, I'm going to do a video tutorial of vector art, which will really be helpful if you want to be a graphic artist. Working at home or anywhere you want, you can sell your designs and even run your own business using your designs. So I hope you learn from it. Enjoy!
Hi, so this is a video tutorial of the vector art that I promised you guys. I hope you learned from it. Alright, so let's start. So this is the lasso tool. You start there. This is our picture. This is the layer of our picture. You create a new layer. Alright. I always start with the base color. So how do you figure out what the base color is? Um, for you to figure out what the base color is, you have to make it easier for you guys, I always look for the color that has, that can be seen on the photo the most. So for this, we're only going to do the head of the husky. For this, there are lots of blacks, grays, dark grays, but it's not as much as this color. This looks like white, but it's not super white. So it's super light gray. So you get the color of that because that's what I see the most on the ears, the eyebrows, the face. So you use this. This is the eyedropper tool. So you can click this to choose whatever color you want to use on the photo, or you can press the letter I on your keyboard. That's a shortcut for the eyedropper tool. So once you pick your color, you go back to lasso tool. So you can either click this or press L, the letter L on your keyboard. That's a shortcut for the lasso tool, and then start tracing. So I'm using my pen tablet right now. I'll be tracing around the dog like this, like so. Alright, so when you are starting, this is your first time vectoring or using the tool, the pen tablet, it's okay to go as low as you can. It's even okay to zoom the picture, and then draw once you've zoomed your picture in. Now with the lasso tool, I'll just show you. You cannot do a line and then once your hand is tired, just lift it up. You cannot do that because it's automatically gonna close and you'll have to start all over again if that's not the path or the shape that you want to shade or color, right? So what I do is, since you cannot trace the whole face with one stroke, that's impossible for me. I'm not sure for the others if they can do that. I do as much as I can. I'll show you like this. So I'll do as much as I can, and then when I feel like I want to close it, I just go anywhere and then close it. They will connect to each other until you form the whole picture. Alright, so I'll be drawing and then just watch me doing that technique. Alright, and then you right click or you click your pen. Usually the pen has the right click button. So you right click and then click fill, and then always choose the foreground color. That's our foreground color, this one, the one that we chose earlier with the eyedropper tool. And then okay. And that will be our base. Alright. Now we're done with this layer, so we're done with the base, so we don't need this selection shape anymore. Alright, so you can either right click deselect, or you can press Ctrl D on your keyboard to deselect automatically. If you don't want to get confused, you can name this your base layer. So just double click the word layer 1 and then replace it with base so you won't be confused. And then you create another layer on top of that. Okay. So you hide the first layer so you can see the picture, so you can see what we're going to base from, so we can start on the next layer. Okay, so I usually go from, since this one is the mid-tone, I usually go from mid-tone to the darkest and then mid-tone to the lightest. So we have the mid-tone already. Let's start with the darker part. We're going to pick the darkest color in the picture, and this is what I see. This is the darkest color that I see. It's almost black, but it's not. And then let's start doing the lasso tool again. So let's right click and then fill it with the same color as we chose earlier, Control D. So as you can see, it exceeds our base. It's really dirty. So what we're going to do is click on our base, and then so control and click the base layer here, and then right click, select inverse, and then backspace. Okay, and there you go. It's already, the shade is already within our base shape. And what I do is I lower down the opacity. Okay, I never use like an opaque color, or just the same color and then just go from there, unless it's part of the details. So when it's the shading, the shadows, the highlights, I always lower the opacity and then I go from there. Okay, so we make another layer after that. Okay, so I'm lowering it down. You can experiment, it's up to you, whatever you feel looks good. So I'm doing at least 30, 35, 36%. And then let's create another layer. Okay, so I'm doing this, the opacity of our second and last highlight layer, to at least 70%. Let's see, there you go, looks good. Okay, so we'll go to the next layer, which will be the details. So right click on your picture and then show hide all layers, so we'll only see the picture, and then create a new layer. Now for the details means the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Now for the details, I seldom use opacity because I want them to pop out. It's the eyes, the nose, the details are very important in the portrait. I want them to pop out. So let's go ahead and start with the eyes. Alright, so I did the same process as what I did on the eyes and nose to the mouth, so we're done. The last thing I do after I finish all the major details is just put the whiskers, and other things like the fur here and everything. I use the brush tool for that. You can still use the lasso tool if you want to, but it's easier for me to just use the brush tool. So I use hard round, not soft round, and then the size should be the same as the size of the whiskers here, so around 20. There you go. So this will be our portrait of the dog. I have, including the base, I have 10 layers all in all, but it's up to you if you want to do 10 layers or more, or 20 or 30. It doesn't matter as long as you capture the image. So if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions, or if I missed something, I'd love to hear it from you guys. Just comment on our video, and please subscribe for more tutorials like this in the future. And I'm more than happy to learn from you guys if you think there's an easier way for me to do this, or so I can share it with everyone else. Alright, thanks for watching. Enjoy and have fun. Bye.